What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Between the Ropes. We got Mr. Tone Death, aka your wrestling fanatic, formerly known as the quintessential stud muffin. Hey, that was a cold name, just on the wrong person. Say it wasn't.
Not here to judge. Not calling anybody a quintessential stud muffin.
It's not for you to call me.
That's why I'm not here to weigh in on the nickname.
It's perfect for a T-shirt if I was to sell them.
If you
See what I'm saying? That's what it's all about marketing, bro.
Well, if you think people would buy it,
quintessential stud muffin would sell.
it's a big ass word.
That's what makes it so.
Don't put quintessential on a T-shirt.
Call me a cute stud.
Nope.
And immediately to my right, for those who are watching this on the YouTube channel, I'm joined by my partner in crime, 1/3 of the Twin Towers.
It was only 2 dollars.
That's the irony behind it, bruh. You had pushed that a while ago.
I'm mad because I didn't know what it was.
Showed up right on time. Got my boy partner fresh in the building, and I know people we have not talked wrestling in a while, and it's not that we don't care because we've been watching it religiously. We just didn't want to be a typical wrestling show. Like, we don't want to be here where everybody recaps Raw every Tuesday and SmackDown every Saturday and all else in between just cause.
That's what wrestling podcasters do.
Exactly. Niggas be on episode 2004 and they only in their
You know how
first
much
year.
wrestling you have to watch?
You know how much wrestling we do watch?
Your boy want to talk about it all the time.
Because basically you're not allowing it to me personally, I don't want to talk about wrestling every single week because you got to let wrestling breathe.
I mean, I could talk wrestling, but it don't always got to be the shit we watch on TV.
All right. Plus,
I talk
if
about some
there's
other shit.
anything we learned about wrestling this year, it's patience. Everything is not going to happen the way we want to right then and there.
2023 is a good year for
Because
wrestling.
nobody's finished their story.
Not yet.
There's
Not
a
yet.
guy who comes to work when he wants to. There's another guy who won't stop wrestling. And then there's this Hispanic chick with a bunch of Asians around her.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
It's a pretty wild year, but I'm not against it.
I mean,
Not against it. But you know who hasn't been wrestling lately, dog?
who?
Sasha Banks, a.k.a. Mercedes Moné.
And why is she not wrestling?
Well, of course, we all know that she's got the injury.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, she got an injury after her last date in New Japan. So that's why when she did that appearance at an AEW show, she was still injured. So they couldn't even officially have conversations about signing. But
Damn, I didn't know she showed up at an AEW show.
you don't watch AEW, that's why.
Absolutely.
And that's not knock on AEW, just
The internet wasn't even talking about that.
because she showed up at a pay-per-view.
And I'll be following the internet.
It was at a pay-per-view. I think the time when she showed up to pay-per-view, it was around about the same time Jade jumped ship. So Jade jumping ship was more important. Plus, it's not uncommon for independent wrestlers to be at an AEW show just to be at an AEW show.
Bro, but her name, that's Sasha Banks. Why did you not garner more attention when you?
I think it's because she was supposed to have been in conversations about a contract. And I think right now, the reason why her name is popping back up, because we're getting ready to go into WrestleMania season. And anybody who knows WrestleMania season always starts with the Rumble. And if you don't know anything, the Rumble is a great time for
Comeback.
random people to just show up.
It's comeback season.
It doesn't even matter what company you're in. You can even show up with the belt of the company you work for.
Yeah, we're running a loose ship over here. We don't care.
Like, and I'm okay with that because that just, I think to me that brings a lot of like talks.
We want to show you that even though we the big dog, we don't hate it.
We don't hate everybody. You can come home. And now that I sit back and think about that moment actually had a lot of impact, and I don't think we've seen it in its true moment. Because let's fast forward to now. So for those who don't know, was it last year's Rumble when Mickey showed up, or was it the year before? Okay, so at last year's Rumble, Mickey James, who is under contract of TNA, showed up in the Rumble with the TNA Women's title still around her waist and actually wore it to the ring. Okay, but fast forward to right now. Who's GM on SmackDown?
Nick Aldis.
And who is Nick Aldis?
That's her husband.
That's her husband.
She's not even a champion right now.
Hold on. Guess who just got finished inking a distribution deal with WWE? Well, THQ, I'm sorry. No, TKO, I'm sorry. Too many initials. Exactly. Who happens to be the same company that Mickey James works at.
Yeah, I mean, we could possibly see her in a Rumble. That's not.
No, this is a Rumble. It's possible. And this I want to talk because this is the rumor mill. You know, we got to start with the rumor mills. Do you think it's a possibility that TNA could eventually become under the TKO umbrella as a whole?
Nope.
Why not?
What benefit does it do?
I said TKO. Endeavor. I'm not talking to WWE. Wow. You got to remember, we're not doing business Vince way no more.
But I'm saying, still, business-wise, what benefit do you bring to this company?
Technically, you don't
have the following that the brand UFC has. You don't have the following that the brand WWE has. So, in a business sense, what does the TNA or Impact name do for us that we should shell out some money to y'all and care about y'all? That's what I'm saying. This ain't even about WWE. This is just business.
Just business wise.
As what do you do for us, and why do we need to do business with you?
Okay, so in order this is my POV. I'm thinking like an exec. Okay, a lot of superstars under the WWE umbrella came through Impact in one shape and form.
True.
Okay. Now, because of that, there's a whole archive of video footage, matches, information, basically your library that can be incorporated into the WWE library to give you an extensive look at certain wrestlers in their career. Like, for an example, if I really want to say, hey, AJ Styles is the dude, let's go ahead, let's make a documentary on his life, I can now use all of TNA's videos, conversations, things about AJ and shit that AJ went through to give you a full good story of AJ's life. I don't have to only just like pick up, well, I joined the WWE and now wrestling started for me. It's like saying black folks existed before slavery, but history only talks about when slavery started.
That's crazy.
That's really what it is when you think about, when you look at wrestlers and how they used to get presented. It's like, but even though LA Knight has this huge career as Eli Drake, which makes people be like, because like somebody like me who didn't give a damn about Eli Drake, I'm sitting here like, why the fuck do we care about LA Knight? Why is he the number 2 babyface when nigga all you do is emulate Steve Austin? But if I had this Eli Drake archive footage that can be used from time to time, I'd be like, yo, I see you, bro. I'm on the bandwagon now.
But there's a good handful of people that don't care about that.
There's a lot of people that don't, but we also got a lot of people that do.
Like wrestling purists care about stuff like that.
There's more wrestling purists than you think.
I'm not saying whether it's a lot or whether it's not a lot. I'm just saying
but from
that bag is for wrestling.
Also, let's keep it a buck. I guarantee you, TNA is not going for much on the table for us to buy it. So if I want to be the number one company, I do you one better. Who's your cell phone provider?
AT&T.
Name me the competition that's out there right now.
The competition is disappearing.
Stop jumping ship. Just go answer my question.
But what I'm saying
I'm getting there.
It's hard to go.
Don't mess up my flow, bro. Just answer the question.
Oh, there's Sprint.
Okay.
But I don't. But Sprint,
you jumping. Stop jumping. Stop jumping. You stop trying to fuck up what I'm doing. I'm
not, bro. But there's Sprint. There's T-Mobile. I think they're one. I don't fucking know.
Okay, so
U.S. Cellular still a thing?
So you want to be an asshole. So AT&T is Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile, and Sprint, which was like tied for third, and then U.S. Cellular because that's more of a local thing, right?
Okay.
All right. Number three companies is like, yo, we can sit here and fight all day, or we can work together, get money, and we can become number one and number two. So they merged. Unfortunately, Sprint had a bad name in them streets, so they said we're gonna go with the T-Mobile name. Now they're the second largest company in existence.
That's true.
So they jumped the gun, so I don't have to worry about knocking AT&T off his pedestal to be number two. I'm just going ahead and do business with Dog here. As long as we agree, we can be number two without having to do nothing. That's basically the way I look at how an executive would look at taking down the competition. Yes, WWE is number one.
Yes.
No problem whatsoever. There's no argument on that. That money is long. But then the execs picked up the execs bought this fancy ass BMW, lifted up the hood, and said, we got to do some work. We got to do some work.
But do we know if like one has anything to do with the other?
At the moment, no.
Because it's like Endeavor is that, and then like I don't know if Endeavor gets any part of what they do with Peacock. Because now I feel like if that was a thing, I think Peacock should have stepped in and was like, y'all should try to purchase the library because we're going to add it to the network.
And they could, and that's the thing about it. They could have. That could have, because you got to remember, we have to remember there's no Vince McMahon making all the overhead decisions. There's people even over him now. So if they say, hey, I like this wrestler, tell me more about him. Well, he used to work in this company over here. Oh, can I see his footage? Nah, it's owned by such and such. Oh, let me go talk to them about buying that.
But I did hear that at the top of the year they're supposed to be launching their own streaming thing.
Right.
So it's a possibility before, they try to merge it with what they're doing on Peacock. So.
For all we know, it may start off like that because DC did that for a while. It had its own streaming app. Then it ended up on HBO.
Yeah. Which was better.
Exactly. So for all we know, TNA might try to get as much money as they can.
Right, because they've tried this once before with a streaming app.
Everybody's tried it.
They didn't have enough backing. But I think with Endeavors behind them, they could give me to spend $10 on TNA Classics.
If it's good. If you give me everything.
Yeah, if you give me...
You got to give me everything.
If you're giving me stuff from like the beginning up until like maybe before Hulk Hogan got there, why he fuck up everything he touched?
But I still got to see that era too.
I mean, yeah, I want it because it was bad and I enjoy bad things.
Look,
but
we are people... Y'all are, because I tried, I couldn't do it. But y'all are people who will gladly go back and watch every episode of Nitro in order.
Because it's so fucking fun to just watch where WCW fucking fell off the fucking wagon.
It was bad. I couldn't do it, bro. But I could do it with TNA. And the reason why I could do it with TNA, because I was there in the beginning. Me and Chuck was those guys who were paying $10 every week to buy their show.
Y'all was watching the weekly pay-per-views?
We was watching the weekly pay-per-views because we wanted something that wasn't Vince.
I did it.
You know what I'm saying? So we were there in the beginning. So that's why people like AJ and Kaziri and all of them, we actually got behind because we seen you be little ass kids in wrestling per se. So now that we got jacked up AJ taking out people for no reason that we still confused on. They're gonna do it on Friday. But I like the idea. I do want to see where it's going. But like I said at the top of the hour, if anything we learned about wrestling is patience. But who's your favorite wrestler this year?
Probably LA Knight.
See, and it's not mine.
It's not. That's why it's my favorite.
Bro, no, I'm saying I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Just call back to. It's not mine. It was nothing about LA Knight that made me be like, I see that in you.
I feel like even if you don't see the vision, I feel like you have to respect the progression.
No, I definitely respect it.
Like even with Dom, like even if you didn't see the vision, you have to respect the progress that you've made from when you look at the top of the year, or even to just his initial heel turn at the end of 2022 to joining the Judgment Day and to where you are now going into 2024. You're a lot better as a wrestler. I feel like
I don't think he was ever really bad. I just think he didn't have the confidence. I think because it's like, okay, of course I seen the vision. Okay,
that's true.
That's one person I'm gonna take to the ground. I seen the vision on Dom. I think what the issue with Dom in the beginning was, one, you're working with your pops, so you already know how stern and strict your pops can be. Because if you've ever with any of your parents, you move a little bit differently around your parents than you would with your friends anyway, right? So you already got that over you, and it wasn't even the fact that you were just out here still doing your own thing, but had to come back to your dad. You were with your dad 24/7,
right?
In the beginning of his career, and then on top of that, your dad is the Lucha Libre star.
It's true.
Okay, the star. Hell, there was a whole entire movie on Netflix, TV show on Netflix about a chick who wanted to be a wrestler because of him, that he ended up having a cameo at the end of the movie.
That's terrible.
It was not a bad movie.
Sounds bad.
It was definitely Mexican.
Sounds like subtitles.
It was. It was. I think it was. Bad, it was a typical It was a typical American Mexican storyline. We need to get money for the village, or we need to do something.
Get money for the village.
Like it was.
Why are we getting money for the village, bro? That's insane.
Poor village, bro. It was in Mexico. Whatever it was wild. I remember. I got to go find it because I got to see if they ever made a season 2, because she definitely had a good ending.
A season 2 is great.
Got to see if they had a season 2. So I feel like too much pressure, but I think the Judgment Day allowed him to not have to be his dad. And history has shown a lot of wrestlers grew better during a heel run than a babyface run.
Yeah, because we didn't like him. We wasn't going to accept him as a babyface.
No.
I also feel like when because if you watch his style, just like when he first started wrestling, I feel like when he started implicating more of Eddie in his style, where he can jump off the top rope, right, he can jump over the top rope, but he's still low to the ground, and he wrestles more of a technical style. That's better than him trying to wrestle like his dad and do all that, because he's too big. Like Dom, like 6'3". Like
he ain't even quick, bro. If you really play it, Dom really is not quick.
That's 6'19", slow as hell.
It's not even a 6'19", my nigga. It's like a 2'3'4".
It's like
that shit's moving slow.
Once he stopped wrestling like his dad and stopped doing all that top rope shit and just started wrestling, being a heel and low to the ground like Dom is. I fuck with Dom.
I like Dom, but I think wrestling fucks with Dom, because I've never heard anybody say anything bad about him when they're in the ring. Because people don't, if you do the math, and I don't think people really did this except for Wrestling Purists, Dom wrestled more than Seth this year.
I can see that,
because there was a whole month, if I'm not mistaken, he would have a match on Raw, NXT, SmackDown, and still be in the pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
That month. It was like my boy was working. So even if you didn't like him, you definitely had to respect him.
Bro, Judgment Day main evented the entire summer. Like when you just look at Monday Night Raw and you go back and you look at the main event, it was some combination of Judgment Day versus like Seth and Sammy and KO. It was like Judgment Day has been doing this shit.
Okay. But let's flip that. Who you think had the worst year this year?
Austin Theory.
I agree with you on that, but I got an honorable mention too. And it's going to be funny based off of what you just said. My honorable mention actually is Finn Balor.
I can't say Finn had the worst year. I can't say
I said honorable mention.
But I personally can't even put him in the topic of having a bad year, because even though, like, what you would consider, because Finn, he did a lot of losing, right?
He definitely, it was,
but
out of everybody in Judgment Day, and this is even including JD, Finn, personally, to me, brought no excitement to Judgment Day. Up until JD became the whipping boy, Finn was the one taking all the L's. Finn is the fifth member, in my opinion. Because even with JD trying to be down, he always did something that these two matches you might have cost, but your interference in this third match, which is the match that matters, even though you got super kicked out your boots, was all that was needed for them to keep this belt.
I feel like by wrestling fan standards, Finn had a decent 2023.
I'll give him that.
Because the spot
he had a C.
The spot that people wanted Finn to have and they felt like Finn should have had, Finn got to have it for this year. Like, Finn was the main antagonist for 2023. He was Seth Rollins' biggest foil for 2023.
Honestly.
And then the group prospered. Everybody had their evolution moment. Everybody had a championship.
That was a common thing there.
Like, you know, Rhea got the women's title at WrestleMania. They won the tag titles toward the end of the year. Dom is two-time North American champion. Like, Judgment Day has been the standout stable in 2020.
This is true.
It's been Judgment Day.
Which is why I had honorable mention on Finn, but after that compelling argument from the courts,
I'm just saying, like, I don't think he had. I mean, yeah,
Finn has been found not guilty.
Yeah, he lost a lot, but when you think about just the spot and where they put him at, like, you could lose every fucking night, but if you losing in the last match on the card, I mean, you doing something right to where they feel like you need to go out here with the best baby face. So you doing something right.
Would you put Nakamura in honorable mention
for a bad 2023? Yes.
2023.
But I feel like what he's doing now, he kind of bouncing back. Because I feel like Shinsuke is now he's our WWE big bad. Like, it doesn't matter what babyface you give him, Shinsuke gonna come with the fight and he gonna make it interesting.
Okay.
It's just like it's like your typical Japanese comic book villain.
But
it's like Shredder and the Ninja Turtles.
But here's my issue, and I'm glad you used Shredder as an example. Nobody that Shin is fucking with, at the end of the day, he's not winning that war. So there's going to be a lot of unnecessary L's because I feel like Nakamura is just going to be used as a filler because this person needs a feud. Like Cody right now.
Right.
We know he's not beating Cody unless you want to give us a nice little swerve. It's, to me, it's just a filler thing for Cody till we get to the Rumble so he can have something to do. And then at the Rumble, we're going to start your story. The filler was with Seth because my back. Even though you've been fucking his back up every fucking week and every chance you get, and even in the match, you still didn't slay the dragon.
But to the contrary, again, it's all give and take. In order for you to have a good baby face, you kind of need a good villain. And then, like, when you, like, just from the landscape of looking at the Raw roster for 2023, how many villains does Seth really have?
The whole roster was villains.
But what I'm saying is, like
overall, there was like maybe 4 at the most.
But like what I'm saying is, like, so we put the belt on Seth in May.
Right.
He beat AJ. AJ's not even on Monday Night Raw.
Right. Which threw us all off.
So now we need somebody for you when we're going into the summer. I think about where we were in May. Drew McIntyre hadn't been on TV after WrestleMania.
True.
So he's gone. Cody is distracted with Brock Lesnar, and Brock Lesnar is distracted with Cody, vice versa. So that's 2 top matches that we've already taken off the table.
We've seen both of them.
But what I'm saying is, like, that's two pay-per-view matches that we've taken off the table because they are doing their thing.
Right.
So now we need to, in essential, bring somebody else to make them bigger than what they are. Who better than Finn Balor, because Judgment Day was the hottest shit on Monday Night Raw,
which is why I was not mad. I was not mad at that storyline.
So
that storyline made sense.
He got his just due.
But that's another thing that I have a love-hate with WWE. The WWE gives you these compelling stories that feel personal. Okay? The finish my story, the you took me off the shelf 7 years ago, the I've been held back, even the current one that everybody's saying is tasteless, but the Brawling Brute situation with the broken neck down in NXT that just happened.
Hey, art imitates life.
But what I'm saying is you give us these stories that really feel like there should be a level of redemption to it, and you really make us believe that, okay, you're right. This man needs to get his comeuppance, because I can understand 7 years ago you got put on a rocket ship and this guy came literally took the gas out of it.
Did that story make you feel like we should be cheering for the opposite guy?
Yes, and that's what
that story was like.
That's what I'm saying.
Why? Because it's a mind fuck. Because looking at it from as a fan, you cheer for Seth Rollins. You like, yo, Finn, why you mad? Let that shit go, bro. But 7 years.
But he gives you a legit. You have to look at Finn's career for the last 7 years. He hasn't been back there since.
That's why it's good story.
He had to go to NXT to even get anything that looked like it was there again. He had to go to NXT to find his smile, in so many words, which is why I was like, yo, y'all can't give me these kind of, because it started, you got to think about it. They did it to us with Sammy. They did it to us with Cody. Now you did it to us with Finn. Let's not forget what they did in Puerto Rico. Because the whole card should have been completely different.
Tom, it sounds like they know how to make you be a fan.
And that's why
they got you. And it's okay.
And you know what? And that's what I'm saying. That's why I said I have a love-hate. Because as a wrestling fan, we've been missing this.
Yes, I love it when they get me.
We've been missing the whole entire, damn, I don't want to cheer for you, but I got to cheer for you. That the logical the analytical ones, we knew that Zelina Vega was not beating Rhea.
But it would have felt good, though.
We knew it
would have felt good.
But at the same time, if somehow Zelina snuck out the win in Puerto Rico, we wouldn't have been mad at Wright. We wouldn't have been mad. She could have lost it the very next day. We wouldn't have gave two shits. But that moment,
I felt like because
should have belonged to her.
I felt like because you knew you wasn't gonna let Zelina beat Rhea, Bad Bunny should have been the main event.
Exactly.
Not Brock and Cody.
Exactly. And Brock and Cody shouldn't even been on the card at all.
No, I ain't gonna say that.
No. Hear me out. Or at least be the opener. Because hear me out. We haven't been in Puerto Rico. And it was like, what, 20 years?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. And at this point in time, you have so many Hispanics on your card.
Well, Cody's Hispanic.
He is.
Don't take that from Cody. He's Hispanic to a degree.
And we found out that night too. That's what made it so wild. When they was doing
his mama Cuban.
They were doing the Hispanic heritage thing.
He's like, what? Cody?
And we found out the nigga was Hispanic. Not even mad at him.
Yeah, he can say nigga.
No, he can't.
Cody can't get that off.
What him and Brandy do in the bedroom, that's their business.
If Cody was rapping some Tupac and he was like,
we wouldn't be mad.
Yeah, these niggas can't fuck with me. I don't think I would be upset that Cody said nigga.
We're not gonna give him that pass.
We not? Okay.
No, because it's not the simple fact that we don't want to give Cody that pass. It's those people who don't deserve the pass who may be sitting in Cody's position that's gonna be the ones that actually do it, not Cody. Like there's gonna be some other Zack Ryder-ish wrestler who's married to a black woman who's gonna rap Tupac lyrics, and now we gotta whoop his ass in the locker room because we said Cody could do it.
So Cody the only person can say nigga?
Dusty could say nigga. Cody, tread lightly.
But Dusty was white and fucked the Cuban.
No.
Cody is Spanish.
No. Dusty grew up in the ghetto. Okay? He talked like niggas because he lived with niggas. He is a nigga. That's why Dusty could get away with it.
So why Cody can't say
that? I don't know, bro. He got a big ass American tattoo on his neck, bro. He got a big ass American tattoo on his neck, bro. It's a big ass
transformer.
It's a big ass American flag, bro.
It's not a rebel flag.
It's a flag, bro.
You stand for America, Tom.
I stand for black people who just happen to live in America.
Cody is one of them.
He Hispanic, bro.
Why Spanish can say nigga?
No, they can't say nigga all the time. That we're not gonna do this for the last few minutes of our wrestling show, bro. I'm just saying. But I love what they did writing wise. Usually they bring their A game during the road to WrestleMania. So we'll see what they're gonna do. But we've had too many of these. You got my feelings up. It started with Sammy. It went to Finn. It was on Zelina. It's on Trick now.
You know what I like that WWE been doing with a lot of these niggas that the internet has been yelling and screaming for so long? They have done a really good job at seamlessly transitioning people, like giving them their flowers and then getting them right the fuck out of there.
True.
Like Sammy had this big moment when he turned on Roman and then he got his world title match. Now I don't think Sammy is never gonna be world champion. Like eventually down the line.
I don't even think that's even on Sammy's radar right now.
It may not be, but I do feel like eventually down the line, Triple H or whoever is doing the booking at this time, hey Sammy, you've been doing a good job. Eventually you get rewarded for your hard work. I don't think
Sammy's gonna get Roman's belt. But I think somewhere down the line within the next 3 to 4 years, he's getting Seth's belt.
Right. I feel like a lot of people get rewarded for the hard work you put in.
Right.
Like just ever since they did what they did with JBL, I'm now a firm believer that if you work hard and you don't cause trouble to a degree, you eventually, even though he was a bully to niggas.
Right, I'm like, if anybody caused trouble, it was him.
So
he was just in the right place.
That's why
right
I said
time.
A degree. But for real though, like if you work hard and you do your best to keep your nose clean, eventually you get rewarded for your hard work. And I feel like Sammy gonna be one of them guys who are like, all right, it's time. Whether you want it or not, the fans want it, and this is the direction that we're going. You're gonna get your moment. Now, whether it's a WrestleMania or SummerSlam, Sammy's gonna get his moment.
I don't think Sammy's gonna really get the moment we want Sammy until the Bloodline storyline completely fizzles out, and it's just Sammy on some other shit. Because somebody made a joke, and I actually want to see it happen now that they bring it up. They say we need to get to a point where Sammy's career is on the line and he loses. But instead of being fired, Sammy comes back as El Generico. And that's who he wrestles at for like a year and a half.
Sammy winning the WWE title as El Generico would be fucking insane. I'm here for it, and I feel
that goes back to the TNA archive. It'll be ROH instead, though. But that goes back. We have to understand who the fuck El Generico is in order for this to make sense.
But I feel, back
to the feeling would definitely be
back to our other point. I feel like that storyline is for the wrestling purists.
Right.
You're gonna get the casual wrestling fan who have just caught on to Sami Zayn and be like, "Oh yeah, this nigga's popping," and they'll go do their research. But him becoming El Generico in the WWE, knowing that that's what a lot of people thought he was going to be when he came, but he wouldn't sell, I guess, the rights to the El Generico name.
Right.
Just in case he got fired, he can go back to the Indies and still be El Generico. So I understood the business of it. But I wouldn't be opposed to it. But like I was saying earlier, they've seamlessly transitioned a lot of people into the moment.
Right.
And then got them out of there. Like Finn, he got the summer.
Right.
Nakamura got the fall. Drew McIntyre is pretty much getting the winner, and I like how they're using CM Punk now. CM Punk, he came, but he's on TV very sparingly.
Right.
Which is cool. Let's not overexpose dog if he's not gonna wrestle. That works
because what I like about the WWE is they don't waste their opportunities just cause. Like, yes, we have CM Punk. Yes, it's cool that we can put him against anybody and he has different feuds all over the place, but let's be smart about where we put him at. Okay. Because
somebody?
Huh? Our guests for our shows. Oh, okay. Yeah. We're okay with where we are. Like before you were even on the table, we already had an idea of what we may want to do for WrestleMania for all of our champions. Now that we have you here, we got to maximize you because having you fucked up so much for AEW that they don't even that people don't know how badly it fucked up AEW.
Well, you know what? I watched this guy on YouTube. I don't know if you follow his channel, but it's called Wrestling with Regret. and he kind of, he do like pay-per-view reviews.
Right.
He do all this good shit, but he kind of did like this little brief story. It's probably about 35 minutes long. Could be shorter.
About how
longer.
CM Punk was
It was
literally.
It was just like the rise and fall of CM Punk with the AEW.
Right.
And then like when you watch it, you be like, yo, a lot of this shit really wasn't dog fault.
It never was dog fault. They put too much stock in what CM Punk was supposed to do for the company. Like there's a Saturday show strictly because the parent company for AEW and the TV rights with TBS was like, oh, we'll give you another show so you could create a whole new brand, but it has to be CM Punk on this show. CM Punk has to bring in these many people to accommodate this number. CM Punk has to be your main part. They put too much stock in CM Punk.
The crazy part about, again, if you go back and you watch this thing that I watched, the whole purpose of him getting a Saturday show was so he didn't have to be on the Wednesday show because him and Kenny and the Elite don't get along.
Right, and that's the crazy part was we gonna end right here, and this is gonna be our next.
He wasn't wrong though. Them three jackasses can't manage a target.
But that's where it gets to. These are supposed to be your executive VPs. So if this is best for business, regardless of how you feel about him, you should do what's best for business. So even when they came in, because he even want to let's kiss and make up and do what needs to be done for business, because now that people know that we had a fight in the back, let's capitalize on it. You don't think
he was down for that?
And I'm saying, because I remember CM Punk was around when Edge and Matt had real ass beef.
He was down.
What did they do? They said, let's make money off of it.
Do you know how much money Kenny Omega versus CM Punk will make, knowing that they really had a fight and knowing that there is a little bit of realness to this match, and this whole storyline is real? So these promos is pretty much fucking shoots.
Bro, if you take Seth and Riddle, their feud, and replace it with Kenny and Punk, gold.
But I think that's what we finna get at WrestleMania. Because although CM Punk and Seth, the tension that they have, it's real. I feel like Seth was one of them people like, look, you left us 10 years ago, and ever since you left, you've had nothing positive to say about us. This is not your home. You don't fuck with us like that. Now, the only reason that you can be on this team is because my nigga Triple H said you good people. I personally don't fuck with you. But at the end of the day, I understand that this is about making money. So we're going to go out here and we're going to tear the house down, and I'm just going to physically prove that you're not the best in the world no more. And that's going to make great fucking TV.
But that's why I feel like AEW really dropped the ball.
They did.
They really do.
They're still dropping the ball.
Because at the end of the day, and this is for those who love AEW, I watch it too. I'm down with it. But this is where I feel like Tony Khan actually made a big mistake. You have a huge name that has a history of following, and taking consideration one of your main places you guys do y'all shows at is his hometown, and you chose Jungle Boy. You chose to stand behind Jungle Boy.
Oh, that's gonna. But at the same time, why CM Punk was fired from AEW,
I understand
like
it too.
Some shit is just like this Draymond Green situation in the NBA. It's gonna get to a point where they're gonna look at you and be like, bro, it's just some shit that we cannot allow. And for you to lunge, it's one thing for me to beat up my coworker. It's a testosterone sport. Niggas gonna feel some kind of way, and whether what we do out here is fake, if you feel like you really that nigga when we get back here, I'll fight you. Head up. You want to scrap? We can scrap.
That's what they used to do.
But at some point, like, bro, you cannot lunge at your boss and put your boss in an unsafe work environment.
But taking consideration,
Tony Khan said he feared for his life.
Look, fam, Tony Khan, TK know what he got into when he decided to get in the wrestling business. Okay?
I don't think he thought wrestlers was going to actually try to physically harm him.
This is why fans with money shouldn't go do shit they don't know nothing about until they do their research. Because if you pay attention to wrestling, there's always stories about backstage niggas getting their ass whooped. Hell, we just got done peeping a video that was just running some shit down, and we learned about Big Show and Chavo scrapping.
I hope that Tony Khan has learned his lesson from this entire situation.
Tony Khan needs a buffer.
He does.
He needs somebody who has been in the business. It could be somebody from NWA. I don't give a damn. It could be the other. It could be fucking one of the Dudley boys. I don't care. He needs somebody who has been in the business front and back to sit here and say, I see what you're doing. I see your vision. But if you go this way, this will happen. If you go this way, this will happen. Which way do you, which outcome you want? You want outcome A? Okay, this is what you need to do to get to outcome A. Tony Khan needs somebody to hold his hand that knows wrestling to let him know, yeah, we tried this in 84. It didn't work. You sure you want to do that? Because we say it all the time. Wrestling is just a repeat of itself. There's no new storylines. It's the same storylines retold to different people.
Because he could have stopped this entire situation. Because this whole, you know, Colt Cabana is, right?
I know Colt.
This whole,
we met him. You know we know Colt.
And he a dick too. Fuck him.
To you, because you was a dick to him, so you deserved it.
But this whole situation started because when CM Punk came in, Colt Cabana was already working there.
Right.
But in the process of whatever happened after that podcast that they did after CM Punk left, kind of strained their friendship.
I get that.
CM Punk decided to stop being friends with Colt Cabana.
Makes sense.
So now, when CM Punk got signed to AEW, Colt Cabana ended up getting fired. So now, instead of Tony Khan just coming out and squashing the rumor of what it was, he could be like, hey, in order to sign CM Punk, I had to make some room. So yada, 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 3 or 4 niggas got fired, so I got a payroll. He said nothing. Now, Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks have this preconceived notion that the only reason you here is if folks got fired so you could come.
Or,
right. And nobody's saying why Colt Cabana got fired. So now they believe that this is why. And now they're doing all this goofy shit. Like, when you know the backstory of a situation, it does make the promos a little bit better. But when nobody knows what the fuck is going on besides the 2 niggas standing in the ring, you being out here taking pot shots at me is not okay, because now we are confusing the audience. As if I'm watching the show trying to be engaged with the promo and you keep talking about some shit, 6 niggas that we don't know what you mean. Yeah, man, workers' rights. And everybody's just like, the fuck that got to do with the promo? Then when you get on the internet, you do the research like, oh, boo, that's not compelling TV. It took me this long to figure it out.
Our next pop-up conversation, we're going to talk about the ups and downs of AEW. We're going to figure out how do we fix AEW going into 2024.
Cancel it.
No.
That shit go fizzle out like WCW.
No, because as long as you got niggas like
Case closed.
you got niggas like Orange Cassidy, Darby Allin, and Christian on the roster, they not going nowhere. Because Christian, he's single-handedly holding that shit down.
Make him world champion.
You don't need to. Because the belt that he got, my nigga is running around with this belt like it is the world championship. My nigga sent a letter and it had Tony Schiavone or whatever dude name is read it on stage to reply to Edge's challenge. It's like, look, man, I'm not coming back to work. It's a Collision. I'm not coming back to Collision. Therefore, you're just going to have to wait for my answer then. And if you got a problem with that, take it up with management. I'll see you when I see you. Christian.
And you wore that turtleneck. He said
fly nigga with the turtleneck. Don't he got a chain with it?
A little turtleneck and a chain.
But with that being said, we've come to the end of this episode. Yeah, you can only see these on the Death Fresh YouTube channel. So
absolutely.
You got to subscribe. Like, share, subscribe. With that being said, actually,